What I expect from Q1 is probably a lot of guys focusing on largies. If the weather stays warm, they're going to finish spawning first, so they might be feeding a little more actively come the tournament. That's probably going to be the general consensus. I know a lot of people like to hang around near Rideau Ferry and not go all the way down to the south end of the lake. Me and Tony, learning from Newborough last year, because it was same time of year and same, it's a Rideau lake as well. We know that things can change like that when it's that early in the year, but we want to kind of focus on the smallies and see if we can find active schools, because not all the smallies are going to stop or start spawning at the same time, and there certainly will be active fish at that point. And if you can get on a few good schools, I think that'll be the ticket for sure. It's going to be a little more of a gamble than largies because it'll be a little less consistent, but we're going to spend a lot of time out in the little bit bigger water, a lot of time in the electronics, looking around, seeing what the bait's doing, and see if we can predict how the smallies are going to be feeding and how we can catch them. Personal goals for me this season are probably just being consistent. And what happened last year was usually I'd find the fish in pre-fish and Tony would put them in the boat during the tournament. I'd like to develop a little more of a balance where I'm able to find those fish and figure out how to catch them too. But it's nice to have Tony, who always is able to get him in the boat, because then I can, take a little break and eat a sandwich during the day. But and team goals, we want to win. We want to win a tournament for sure. That's our ambitious goal for sure. I think it's completely doable though, and we want to consistently be competing to be in the money every single tournament. We want to really be competitive. We don't want to show up and be like, oh yeah, we want to do a little better than last year. We want to compete, and we want to be another team that's always finishing in the top, and that people know that they're probably going to be at the back of the line come weigh-in, because they need to get in the end of the show where they bring up the big fish. So obviously, based on our performance last year, we're not a top team, but we're going to go into it fishing like a top team and intending to be a top team, and just carry that confidence through the entire season, and hopefully it'll pay off for us.
So the event I'm looking forward to fishing the most would probably be Big Rideau. I got a good relationship with that body of water. That's a place where I've done well before, and yeah, it's good. The style of fishing and the type of fishing you can do is just genuinely a lot of fun, and I know it's going to be a blast. So what I will say then for Q1, one thing I do expect is that just the way that the spring's kind of gone is that there are going to be a lot of fish that I think are probably going to still be in that transitional funk that are, true post-spawn fish. So you're going to find a lot of fish, I still think, cruising around the bank, and a lot of fish offshore, being that, you're going to have two things going on, just the way that the spring's rolled out. And, looking at it too, there's not really going to be a lot of grass and all that kind of stuff, because it's so early in the season. So a lot of that stuff can get written off as well. So it's gonna fish a little different, considering usually when I fished there in the past, it's been a little bit later in the season, where this is right off the hop. So I'm very interested to see how it actually fishes and how it sets up when we get there.
Because of the time of year, I think the fish are going to be all over the place. It really depends what kind of a spring we have. The way I like to fish Big Rideau, I really hope that the fish are a little further along, that they might be on some summer spots. But if not, we'll adapt for sure. So I'm really excited for that first one and getting the year going. The last time we fished a Renegade tournament on Big Rideau, my mom and I actually finished second. And that time of year, those fish were we were fishing small offshore smallmouth. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that for Q1. I think you're going to see big bags of largemouth coming in, and some big smallmouth as well, but I think they're going to be scattered all over the place. So we're going to have to do our homework in pre-fish and try and figure out where they're at in that time of year. Ideally, we'd like to catch them offshore. We'd like to fish for those deeper smallmouth. But if they're not there, we might have to break out the flipping sticks and the frog rods and the Senkos and just go at the largemouth. So